Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. How are we doing? I'm just gonna wait a moment for a few people to come on. Intense energies, huh? So here we are, the event, full compression breakthrough, Galactivations, the divine plan is in full swing. Oh my God, I can't even talk. Okay, let's do this again. The title today is, what I'm going to try and transmit is that the event and the full compression breakthrough are in full swing. We have Galactivations. I shared a post earlier on about this. If you want to have a look there, I'm going to share a little bit now as well. And basically the divine plan is in full swing. It's all happening. I know we might not see it quite yet so much out there, but really you have to look within in order to see beyond the illusions that are dissolving really rapidly now. So I wanted to, I made some notes and I wanted to put it in a post, but I literally cannot get my focus together to put the post in coherent order. So I'm going to be jumping all over the place, and obviously I'm not very good at speaking right now either, so I'll try my very best. I had to come on because otherwise it just keeps going around in my head until I transmit it in some way, shape or form. Actually quite tired. A lot going on. Yesterday, super intense, the 22nd of January, the 1-2-2-2-2-2 date, or you can see it as a 2-2-1-2-2. Anyway, it's not even about the numbers, although obviously they are like activations in themselves as well, as many of us know. But really, certain days are just being highlighted to me. So this date was highlighted to me about a week ago. So that's why I planned the activation. And it didn't disappoint. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever had it, just the energies were like, I mean, beyond words, truly. I can't even find appropriate words to define what came through. I did share a little bit under the surrender post. I explained like this, so the day was like super expanded. There's a lot of DMT at the moment releasing, so it feels a bit trippy. I went to the shops today and I was literally disoriented. Like I was like, where's the mozzarella again? And I was kind of going in the wrong direction. And that's, when it's a shop where you know where the things are. And usually you don't do it automatically. But I was like, okay, where am I? So it's very disorienting. And what I'm really getting is how this is going to happen now rapidly is that we're literally waking up from a dream, but it would actually feel more dreamlike because that's what I'm tapping into. So the DMT is a big part of that, and that is also part of not just us having, expanded experiences, but also for these experiences to manifest in the physical, quite literally. So it's helping us to manifest the higher dimensional realities here. Because ultimately, when we speak about ascension as well, it's not so much as we're going anywhere, it's we're anchoring the higher dimensional frequencies on the earthly plane. And as we're anchoring the higher frequencies, all the lower ones literally dissolve and clear. And this is like a huge, massive purification now that has been triggered yesterday and is already in progress. So what I'm going to share now is really things that also developed the days before. And I know I speak about, the activations I bring forth, but they're just a really big part of my work. And ultimately, it's like an energy forecast for everyone because they are planetary activations. And that's just how I perceive what's going on through that. So it's a feedback for the people who took part, but ultimately everybody's been affected. The field is very active still. So this time it's like 72 hours where we are going through a huge transformation process and really transforming on a very physical level as well. I'm going to send my love to Paul. He was a participant and he ended up in ER with some gallbladder infection. So I sent you my love. We did. Many people have. Now, these things can happen. So you can feel great and expanded. You can have a healing crisis coming up. As with any healing, I've had both things, and each time for me the experiences are also very different. This time, after the activation, straight away, huge physical clearing. Especially my head, I had like a headache, migraine for hours. I took some tablets, they didn't help. I had like a coffee at 3 a.m. in the morning because sometimes that helps me, and it did. So, so the galactivations, so really like it's the back of the head and also the thymus, but also the pineal gland, and it's like an 8 that runs kind of through here, and I can literally feel that in my field going through, you know, my head and pineal and high heart. And this is really bringing also in the so we call it galactivations, and they're really triggering also what I'm seeing, because they're collective inner and outer disclosure, because they are also what brings through the memory of other lifetimes, and especially now galactic selves, so our multidimensional selves, because there's a huge merging happening. So yesterday also I felt really, really grounded. I mean, I'm having this more and more, but some days obviously with a lot, you know, still frequency interference and a lot of stuff clearing in the field. Sometimes, you know, some days you feel more ungrounded than others. So anyway, now as all of this shit is lifting and clearing out of our fields, and a planetary field as well, and all of these frequency basically overwritten, the negative ones, I feel much more grounded. Also, this has a lot to do with just clearing, again, all these entities and implants and all of that crap out. And then it's the soul retrieval, yeah? So our higher DNA activating, but also us calling back really our soul fragments, soul pieces, soul aspects, also on a planetary level. So healing the Taran and the Gaian timelines as well, where there has been a lot of also stuck souls still in the planetary bodies, because we're merging all of these bodies as well, really 12-dimensional earth bodies, so also Aurora Earth, as I see it, or Aura Martina, because it's all merging and unifying. So this is also happening within us. So we are merging with our 12-dimensional avatar self. And this is really full on what I saw yesterday. Really, I felt I was about to literally take off. The macabre activations have been very strong for the last few days as this is all activating and upgrading and realigning. And the spin, we're spinning quicker because it's a higher vibration. And this is obviously what is helping us to ascend to the higher frequency realities. So, yeah. So I felt very grounded, very anchored, super expanded. There was so much coming online, the DNA, the light body, just the bliss, pure consciousness, like never before. Just wow. Like, just amazing. Like, you're not here anymore. And then I had also in the run up to the activation, because I obviously get a lot of kind of energies and frequencies and activations that come in preparation for holding the space, and also because I hold the space really from the time that I post the event description to when, you know, the 2 or 3 days after the event went live, because it's a whole field that you hold and I'm, you know, taking responsibility for. So I went, there was a lot of energy building up, and I literally felt fried. I felt like I was exploding energetically. I had to take a bath, and I also had to, an hour earlier, go in and clear and seal the field again, because there was stuff put there, like more collectively, that had to be cleared and just, you know, in preparation. So I didn't have to do this again during the activation, because during the first half, just for the ones who take part, I do the main clearing of the, you know, bodies. So we're going through the whole, you know, morphogenetic field, DNA, miasms, reversals, AI, inserts, implants, all of that stuff. Yeah, so that's first, the first part is that. So it's the clearing and getting everything ready, and then it's bringing a lot of the activations in, and also going onto the planetary level more. Although as we're working on our bodies, we are working on a planetary body, because we all make up the planetary body. Dream time was intense last night. Well, it's a lot going on. So the way, what I'm seeing is it's really a big vortex that we opened up as well, like a mother arc vortex that's really clearing out any remaining distortions, holographic inserts, you know, anything that's been released also through this white flame activation I'm going to come to now. and it's basically sucking everything out. It's like a big vacuum, and it's just a whole. It's like the last battle has already been fought. Now you might have still again your own battles, but literally this is just a cleaning up process now. There is nothing more they have to give. Literally, they're done. It's done. It's done. And the event is now in full progress. What I'm seeing is literally when I was tuning in again this evening, I just see new earth. I see literally something big, massive popping in the field. Or the event happening very imminently. Now, often when I see things, like when I saw the shockwave happening and I reported on that, and I said it would be like about 2 days, that it would happen from when I was reporting it. And I don't like giving dates, really not, but I was asked to give the dates, so I said, okay. Anyway, but then it actually happened about 2 weeks after, so 12 days after I had, said it would probably happen. So I never say it's definitely going to happen, because everything is always a probability in the field, okay? It's a quantum field. But when I get these guidances to share it, I just do as I'm kind of guided to. So anyway, not questioning it too much. But I could see it's also, every time I share, I also know this is further co-creating and activating it in the field, because I know my power. This is why I'm doing this. For example, also writing is usually much more comfortable than coming online, in a live video. I think most people can appreciate that. But, you have the light, you have the sound, there's a whole frequency that gets transmitted, although obviously the light codes and all of this is also in the writing and everything I share and all of us share, But again, this is, brings another few dimensions along with it. And I was just guided to share it this way, because also you get obviously more in, and sometimes reading so much is a bit tiring, and writing it, not to mention. So there's this big mother arc vortex, clearing the remaining distortions. And what I saw happening yesterday in the activation was literally like the white flame. So the white flame for me, the white flame is also like the white ray, which is the 12th ray, of purification and ascension. So it's purifying, and it's simultaneously then ascending, our vibration and our frequency, because ultimately, how do we vibrate higher? It's by clearing that which is holding us down, which is the density, okay? So we have to go through that stuff. And basically, it's the white flame, how I see it first, it's really the threefold flame, as many of us know, or the threefold founder flame, which are the first 3 rays and sound fields really of creation, okay? So it's the blue, the magenta pink, and golden yellow. And as this grows also in the hearts, it then turns white, because all of the rays together, so as we know from color, mixing, these 3 colors mix all the other colors, okay? So this is where you have really all of the other colors included, and white ultimately again includes all the other colors. When you mix them together, it becomes white. So as the threefold flame, which is also the Trinity frequency that it carries, okay, in the tri-wave, which is the new unity consciousness grid current, okay, it grows into a white flame. And then I saw this growing wider and wider, and it happened in the core of the earth, in the crystal core, and it happened with each of us all over the planet. And it was growing wider and wider until it really filled out the whole planet towards the end. And that's what I'm seeing at the moment, literally burning off the remaining holographic inserts and overlays. So it's literally dissolving, and I can feel it. You can't see it just yet, but I really feel this will be very soon. So where usually maybe I'm about 2 weeks off, with, when I feel something coming in and it actually happening, I'm feeling though, because time is obviously very accelerating, collapsing, I really feel something very, very imminently happening. Again, we don't really do time, but the feeling is like I can feel it and hear it building up in the field. And maybe some other people do that too. Yeah, I mean, a lot has shifted, feel so much more grounded even before coming on. Usually I get very frequencies and interference and stuff coming on. And since last night, I don't have it anymore. Like it was different now coming online. It didn't feel so, and now I'm much more relaxed as well. So there is huge, I mean, there's so many layers to what's happening as well. So I'll try to get on with it. I try to. Now, let's see, where were we? So, because somebody said as well, it's like, you know, because we can only, we're sometimes only seeing what's still left to clear until we get to that level, okay? But at the moment, it's like, okay, we still see, yeah, there's still more. But the thing is, it's like, we also know that only this little bit was still needed in order to collapse it all. So it's like we had to clear enough of the distorted programming, which is basically translates into the false matrix. Okay, it's ultimately all programming. That's what it boils down to. It's all thought. Thought creates matter. Okay, it's at the simplest level. As all of these programs dissolve now, dismantled, very, very fast now, and the new Christ consciousness broadcast fully coming online. That was another big thing of yesterday. That's fully taking over now, and I think that's why we're feeling also so grounded and calm now, because it's not this freaking frequency crap in the field. I can't feel it anymore. Please, I mean, I like feedback as well from other people. I can just, like, I often see a big overview of things, but you know, it's also, it's like so many parts. Sometimes I forget things, and other things I obviously don't see. We all see different, you know, have different perspectives, and also we are all at different parts of our journey. So sometimes, you know, I might feel great one day, the other person feels, you know, not so good, and then the next day, you know, we're all keeping a balance in the field. We can't all feel great the same day, or all go through a, you know, meltdown the same moment in time. You get what I mean? So we all move through these energetic waves also at different times. But definitely feels much, very clear. I mean, yesterday already it was so clear, Jesus. But then also some interference tried to come in last minute, of course. But I feel it's like literally there's nothing more to give and throw at us. Somebody is just saying, yesterday was really discombobulated. I'm not saying this right. Fried and tingling with strong energy all over. I couldn't do anything. I'm so unmotivated in life. Do you think this will shift? Well, ultimately, everything shifts eventually. Now, you can help make it shift. Ultimately, I mean, it takes as long as it takes. Okay, the more you can surrender to whatever is going on, the easier it gets and the faster it moves through you. With everything, you literally have to embrace the pain and the suffering. That's how you flow. Okay, and it's a big part of the journey. Like yesterday, as I said, after the activation, a lot of physical stuff came in, and I don't really have that much physical pain anymore. But for years, I was literally just in bed most of the time. Like 3.5 years. So, you know, everybody is different. A lot of that can be physical. Right now, there's literally any blockage, any distortions to left are being flushed through. All right. So it might be different themes for everyone. Some feel great, some not so great. I feel a mix. And with the strong energy, so there's a lot of electric energy coming in as well, because a lot of the Father arc came online very strong as well. So the masculine energy is coming online strongly now, and it's balancing it out. And that brings a lot of electric energy as well. And also, which was interesting about the Tonga volcano, the shockwave there was also a lot of electric energy being dispersed through that. So there's just a lot happening at the moment. And sometimes I also feel very fried through the different, you know, energies that are coming in. And as I said yesterday, I felt like I was ready to explode. So what you can do then also is obviously move your body, meditation, salt baths. I mean, I used to take daily salt baths when I was really bad. That used to be my lifesaver. Earthing your bare feet on the ground, grass, you know, Mama Earth. You know, water in general. If you don't have a bath, especially with excess energy and electric energy, just have like a foot bath with some salt. That should help it as well, to ground that a little bit. So all of these things I've shared before, and I'm going to do it again on my YouTube page, YouTube site. I'm going to share, I think, like a playlist as well. It makes it easier maybe for people to get to some tunes that help to also relax. Like I listen to a lot of sort of, you know, singing bowls and, you know, kind of frequencies, you know, meditative music, but it's more like, what's the word? For some people it would be noise. For me, it's like a holiday to the brain. I can't, what it is. Not binaural frequencies. Anyway, but I can share a few of them. So there's a lot online you can do. You do really need to also, you know, find those tools that help you manage your energy better, because this is really a lot about energy management and having a sovereign energy field. And we need to get to know, how do we clear our energy field? How would we keep it sovereign? You know, because it's even beyond protection. It's just sovereign. You know, it's the same as you keep your flat clean and the doors closed, you know, and you don't just let everyone come in and put their dirty shoes on your sofa. So it's a little bit like this, how I see it. And especially as so much is clearing collectively, you need to, you know, it's like several times a day, depending how you feel as well, clearing the energy field is a good idea. Even just, you know, quick routines. And obviously there are many different things. And again, I would need to do a video on this specifically to go into more details on how to do that. But I know there is a lot out there, you know, being offered for many people also talking about that. I went through some deep moments earlier today of exhaustion and frustration. Yeah, I mean, you know, we have it all going on. It's like we are the transmuters of these collective energies on a collective level. Now, everybody's feeling it, but we just feel more of it because we often have more DNA strands activated, which is why we resonate with this ascension stuff. And we came here to do the job. You know, we had training in other lifetimes and intergalactically. So we have to really also now take a bit more pride in it, because I mean, first of all, everything is this. Okay, it's about an emanation of Christ consciousness. So it doesn't matter whether you are at home looking after a child, or even, you know, I don't know, working in a shop or doing what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what you're actually doing. It's what you are being whilst you're doing whatever you're doing. Okay, even if you're going through clearings and might not be doing anything, have no responsibility. That is your job. You clearing your programs and clearing your body and clearing your energy field, that's actually the main job and mission we all have in common. And it's always the case. Now, it should become the case that we should not be spending all of our energy in all this transmutational work, and the life force energy is now coming back because we're reconnected to source. Okay? That's what's happening. So we will have more life force energy, because also we are disconnected now from the phantom matrix, and all the illusion is stopping. Because before, we've all been like sucked out of our energy and heavily attacked at astral level and many other levels energetically, and that has been causing a lot of problems. So without all of that stuff, which is now in a final cleanup process stage, we should feel a lot better. So yeah, it will be shifting. It always does shift, but we still have our own personal things to go through. Okay, we all need to dismantle our own pathologies and transcend our own programming, you know, because we all have different soul themes. But the good part is it should be really rapidly now. And I really see an eventual, final, full event where it's like a quantum healing, full healing event at collective level. Now, there will always be more. There's always more. But you know what I mean? Not this heavy trauma, woundedness, because what's happening really is it's a total reset of also our birth transduction records. Let me get to that part, right? Because I made a note about this, so I don't jumble it all up, and I want to be as clear as I can, because it's really a total reset of the old blueprint. And I mean, we've been going through this for the last few months, and you know, for even longer, obviously, but you know, it's coming to its conclusion. And especially the forerunners now, they're really activating their avatar, Christ itself, full embodiment. And this is what's switching everything online now. Okay, but again, not everybody is quite there. But what I am seeing is, again, as some of us, a few souls, it only takes, okay, ascend out of or like fully dismantle the matrix overlays, okay, because you're not really going anywhere as I see it, the lower realities literally just dissolve. And it's also lower consciousness, and with it all these people also disappear. Okay, they're literally not part of the timeline because we're now switching times. Yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh, and I'm not pronouncing this correctly, okay, supposedly died yesterday. I could swear he died in October 2020. Really. So I see this really as a big timeline shift confirmation, because literally it's another Mandela, the Mandela effect. You know, some people remember Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. I don't. And most, like me, remember him, you know, becoming president later on. So, and there are many other, you know, look it up, Google it, research. And I saw this as a big timeline shift because yesterday was really a total, this is now fully dissolving and very, very rapidly now. Like I'm looking, as I said, at big ass miracles and new earth skies very soon. I can feel them. So there was a full deletion of our previous transduction records. So this, like, you can imagine this is karmic imprints. So it's like a transduction sequence is the exact moment of cellular record of incarnational birth, of the consciousness into this physical body. So it's basically what projects our consciousness identity. So that's shifting. Who we are as a human race is totally shifting. And cosmically, because all is affected. Because we've all been made of all of these master races galactically. So as we change, they change also. This is why this is not just us here, a little, you know. I mean, we're not very conscious of what we're doing so far, but this is a huge cosmic undertaking and a cosmic consciousness quantum reset. I'm not saying this lightly or making this up. That's what I'm seeing anyway, okay? Again, take what resonates, leave the rest, as always. So that's basically what's clearing. I can also later on leave the link on this, or you can look it up on Ascension Glossary, Transduction Sequence. So here it says, and I'm just going to read a little bit, the Transduction Sequence is a definition of when the God spark connects to the core manifestation body, so the 12-tree grid. This is your core template, blueprint, which is our light body, or also tree of life, which is our light body. That is the blueprint record that projects our consciousness identity out into the elemental physical manifest body. So this also shifts what manifests, because everything that happens energetically first, you know, in the last stage is the manifest creation here, this level that shifts. And it's been a long time coming. And when I said 750 years in the future, okay, you need to get away from what's possible, first of all, and from the linear. And this is to give an idea of how far in consciousness we can shift, because it's really all in consciousness. Because ultimately, we've been stuck in time. We've been held back. We should be way ahead if you look at technology and so forth. I mean, you know, it's like the Stone Ages down here, literally speaking. So we can make quantum jumps, and literally for me, what I'm seeing, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's what I'm seeing is ultimately to this, we're going to this one now moment where it's like waking up from a dream, and it's going to be more and more like very quickly now, like we're walking in a dream though. So because of the DMT release and everything, multidimensionally coming online, and some of us can already feel this, you know, it's like a little bit you're tripping. And this is bringing the new realities online. And this is ultimately, you know, all activated from within us and also connected to the DNA. It's all interconnected, also with the grids, which are now fully online. We are fully back in charge. It's literally the last big clearing operation before we can literally see the big compression breakthrough. And I can also feel, we will also be feeling it. There's still a lot building. It's like right now, we're getting a lot. What I see is like scalar energy coming from source. So you have scalar weapons, not so good. And then you have also positive scalar waves, okay, which is really from source, helping us to clear everything back to its original blueprint, or it's beyond the original blueprint. It's the highest divine blueprint because we got upgrades, okay? So what has been happening also the last few days was really us retrieving our original source codes. And that's what I could see as part of this transduction sequence reset, was also the, let me see, and my focus concentration is a little bit slipping now. What was I about to say? Now I totally lost what I was about to say. Anyway. So, but it's like the whole data, everything that made up the old matrix is dissolving and being deleted fully. Okay? And at one point when that's enough, it's like you just switch over. It's like you reach this point and then it's just, because nothing so far has physically happened. You know what I mean? Not much. You know, you get what I mean, of like the higher dimension realities really becoming visible. We've seen glimpses and so forth, but it's literally like it will just switch on. And the galactivations are part of that as well, because what I see is also with that coming online is also galactic contact. And that is really us anchoring our galactic identities and, you know, into our bodies. And that's why we're feeling so grounded right now. Like I feel very grounded in my multidimensional self. It feels like I don't need to call it in anymore. You know, like in meditation, like calling all of myself back. It's here now. And we don't even need to connect to anything anymore, although that's still kind of part of it. But ultimately, it's all here in our field. Yeah, it's nowhere to go to. We're not ascending to anywhere as such. I see a lot of energy coming from the energetic Stargate corridor we are in, removing an energetic husk of the cellular complex. What's a husk? It's probably my English that I can't. But it's like, yeah, I mean, we can see this in many different ways. We can see it at a cellular level, because it's really at a cellular and subatomic level that this is happening. If you can see in your inner eye, and it would be a cell, and you see, you know, it's still carbon and it's a little bit, maybe, you know, you see smudge or like dark shadowy energies, like when I look at things energetically. And that's all clearing and being literally sucked off. But this could be anything, you know, on a bigger level, also planetary-wide, it's the entities and so forth. And as I said in another like short post earlier on, and I think in a video as well, those affiliated with the negative alien agenda, it's TikTok. They're basically, it's no more, it's already in progress. Because if you feel some of us having physical symptoms, what do you think happens to a person with these frequencies so high that really has some blocks and, you know, issues with their consciousness and their body? So, you know, there will be this ultimate, you know, a lot of people, the bodies can't withstand these higher frequencies if you have too many blocks in your body. So it's, you know, again, it might be different for everyone. But yeah, the stargates, as I see, they're wide open. And it's like we are waiting for the final avalanche of just a huge white light coming in and fully activating it. Because I'm already seeing these pulsing energies, like these scalar waves coming in, like through our, you know, central column as well. So really into the crown, and clearing also our spinal column, all the vertebrae, and for us to, you know, clear our central channel, whatever there might still be blockages. And these are obviously also our stargates. So as all this clears, that also clears more. But ultimately, it's all, you know, set. But we're waiting for the magic moment where we have enough finally cleared for all to, you know, the new to fully come online. But it's literally already, like the Tribeca code, the tri-wave is fully anchored and stabilized. But some people might not be, you know, anchoring it still. But enough of us are for it to be stabilizing in the field. And the polarity consciousness shifting over to unity consciousness, which is what that means at the consciousness level, really. From the bi-wave, bipolarness and grid to the tri-wave and unity consciousness. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot clearing right now. What I also felt was really abdominal, kidneys. I have them often come up because that's a lot for me with the clearing. Ever since I was a child would come up. You know, we all have different areas also in the body that will show up when these clearings happen. And just try and support your body, mind, and spirit, the best you can. Loads of water, the other things that I mentioned already with the grounding. Sometimes also, Paul, if you're listening at some point, or anyone else, any issues. I once had an appendix infection, and I had a good GP I went to, like a doctor, and he basically said, okay, before you go to the hospital, try 3 days of water fast, nothing else. 3 days, pure water. Now, that wasn't fun, but I got rid of it. And that totally resets your body. It really does. So if you have any issues, that will pretty much get rid of almost anything in the most natural way possible. I can only recommend it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot felt, as I said, I don't feel much aching body stuff anymore, but like yesterday and today, I do. So yeah, there's a lot of, final density removing also coming online. So we're really also, turning carbon from crystalline. Another big part of what came in was also the elemental command and clearing and re-encryption. Because that is what matter is made of the elementals, and also we are made of. So that's what's really transmuting. And it's like, for example, the element of earth turns into crystalline. And that's, a lot of, obviously, what we're doing always. It's a big crystallization process. Our bones have crystals, our blood, fascia, skin, a lot, obviously, in our brain, everywhere. But, we are turning liquid crystalline. That's what I could feel yesterday so much. I literally felt like turning totally crystalline liquid. And lots of new light codes flooding in from source and from our galactic levels. So yeah, as I said, so the white flame activations, really, it's burning everything off, and pulsing energies coming into the core, which is already activating the crystalline core. And this is further activating and spiritualizing also the crystal waters and crystal rivers and the grid lines. Huge crystic dragon presence, always, but I mean, it's obviously a lot to do also with the grids, dragon lines, and the portals. And also for me, they really represent the corrected sound and light fields. That's how I understand it. Again, everybody might read, the symbols of this reality differently. There's no one right or wrong way. So I saw a huge mother and father arc activation happening. So loads of pillars of light everywhere, all across Earth, like really anchoring powerfully. And bringing much balance to the field and balancing the masculine and feminine energies as well. So really anchoring a lot of rainbow frequencies. So massive heart and crystal core activations and crystal network activations. The new grid is fully online and really waiting for the final moment of ta-ta-ta-ta. Something. Don't ask me what exactly, okay? We are not so... Every time I try, okay, to tap into what's going to happen, I get a very clear message. You don't need to know, okay? And I need to embrace uncertainty. And not knowing is a lot of freedom, okay? And just imagine if you would know. We would probably somehow try, subconsciously sabotage it or freak out, or I don't know, somehow it would also take away the surprise. So, I mean, this is a once in a lifetime thing. So let's just get into a frequency of celebration. That's beyond, you have expectation, then you have detachment, and then you have celebration. It's actually gene key. That's one of my main gene keys in my profile. So letting go of the expectation and celebration, that we know that whatever happens, it's always ultimately conspiring for us. And the more you can embrace even the challenging things in our lives, ultimately you've always co-created them. We all co-create everything. When we get sick, if we have an accident, if we lose our job, break up with our partner, anything, everything. I truly believe death. I do believe we co-create everything. Okay, we're just at a lower level, not aware. And from a human perspective, it's this good or bad. That's the polarized thinking. But from a higher soul perspective, if you think back, the hardest experiences in your life were usually that offered the most growth. And, so the same as when we break through big fear, it is a quantum jump, every time. It literally activates your DNA and your field. So you know, this is about transcending fear in all of these programs. That's how we dissolve the matrix, ultimately. And obviously, you know, we've also working on all the energetic things that have made us, you know, that are unseen, that ultimately create the physical realities that we see, okay? So with these galactivations as well, and the pineal activation, as said already, I mean, for the last week before even, we received a lot of activations to the crown and the third eye. So this is all getting us ready to see New Earth, because as I said, shared before, we literally can see less than 1% of light, is what a human can say. Less than 1% is visible to our eyes. Now imagine all that we cannot see. And a lot of that is about to come online, I feel. So, one thing before I forget, what I wanted to say. When I talked about the timelines in my last video on how to work with timelines, okay, because it's important. When I said you, and watch it again if you want to know a bit more, I'm not going to go over it all again, but I wanted to add that when you work with a fear, okay, like let's say there's something coming up in your life, and or you have a fear coming up of what might happen if this happens, okay, and I said sit with it, basically live out that timeline you're afraid of, because ultimately anything is just happening in our lives also, you know, when you have fear coming up, in order to squeeze and release that fear, to clear it. So it's ultimately the trigger is helping you to purge the fear, okay? So if you shift to gratitude, it's going to make it easier, all right? Even if it's not easy or enjoyable, but easy, yeah, it will make it, you know, easier and faster instead of you resisting it. So what was I saying? Okay. So when you sit with a timeline and you know, you can go into meditation, you can imagine, you know, if something comes up, you know, don't avoid it. Don't try, oh, I'm not going to think about it and then it doesn't get real. No, because fear is a very powerful manifester, really. And the subconscious fears especially. So you don't, the things you don't even know you're afraid of, they will manifest in your life very likely, just so you can transcend it and see that after all you made it through, you did survive, and it wasn't, you know, it didn't kill you after all, sort of thing. All right. So being aware of our fears and facing them is so important for that very reason, because ultimately you're just experiencing those things of losing your job or all of these, you know, or being afraid to not being able to pay for things, for example. So you overcome that fear, and that we then create belief systems that tell us one way or another we will always be okay. And even if it happens, then we co-created it and we learned something from it. Yeah? Because it's not about controlling our lives. Yeah? We want to become now more and more conscious of what we're creating. That's the point. But first we need to make our unconscious fear conscious, face them, to transcend them, so we don't have to live and create, manifest those realities which then purge us of our fear. Okay? So, if you don't want to experience it, work with it in meditation, feel it all, feel the fear, because you want to purge the fear through that imagination, okay? Through living that reality, that timeline that you don't want to live, but you want to purge the fear, okay? So you do it in your imagination, where everything already exists as soon as you can think of it, okay, holographic form, and you live it, you feel it all as if you would be living that reality, and then afterwards you can collapse it, but you can only do it once you really purge all the fear, okay? That's what I want to add and make clear, and also why you're doing it, because you want to transcend the fear so you don't have to experience it. And then you can also, for example, after that, you collapse the timeline by imagining it to, you know, maybe go up in flames or some other way, yeah, to just dissolve it. Then you can also imagine another timeline, maybe the polar opposite of what you would like to experience. And again, feel it, but then it's the opposite, you know, it's like the joy and the how you would be feeling, you know, and what you would look like and what you would be doing, you know, and as much feeling as you can insert there and go there often. Yeah, that timeline you can feed, yeah, and keep nurturing, yeah, but from a very detached perspective. And if it's meant to be, and when it's meant to be, it will happen, all right, or something even better, beyond your imagination, which is what's building up right now for us all collectively. So I hope that helps, because it is important right now with any fears that are in the collective, and also things like people planting war and stuff like this. I mean, don't look away. But if that creates fear in you, imagine the worst case scenario. I really mean it. Don't be afraid of you creating that, okay? If you already thought of it and it's already in the field, obviously, then just go there, face the fear, feel the fear, and be okay with even dying. Because ultimately, again, you need to be okay with that if you want to ascend. And we're all dying upon your old self here, and we're all dying upon the collective ego right now. That's totally dissolving, the separation, because it's ultimately the ego, the negative ego, okay, that's preventing us, or what's keeping us separate from each other and God. It's the ego and the wounded self, okay, that feels attacked and triggered and all of this. A healed person just is the smiling Buddha, all right? But, I mean, we're upgrading here a little bit, because we're also going to say, like, hey, no, thank you. This is not okay. All right? Because we need to be both and. We came here to merge all of our aspects. And as I said, divine love has standards, boundaries, and limits. Yeah, and that's very, very important, because it's also to do with your sovereign energetic field. If you don't have limits in your personal life, that will show up energetically. If you let people walk all over you, your field will be a little bit messy. So, yeah. Yeah, if the life keeps freezing, it will probably be your end. I think it's okay here. I later on also, I mean, so far, any life I did seemed okay. There were no issues on my side, and I later on uploaded as well, and you'll be able to later on maybe catch it. So, also, all of creation, all living organisms have received their original source codes and highest divine blueprints now. And the corrected sacred geometries are being downloaded. And this is beyond huge. Like, this is a full reclamation of the corrected geometries based in the crystal spiral, and away from the fallen geometries. Okay, so it's literally meta is transforming from within us. I can literally feel it within my cells, and also out there. And again, a lot of this isn't visible to us right now. Okay, we can only see less than 1%. Now, also huge DMT, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine release. We're balancing all the systems, also with the elemental clearing and healing. That will also help you balance your emotional bodies more. But in the meantime, as things balance, the distortions can come up. The same with the clearings, okay? So just be patient, be present, be, as neutral as you can be, and keep flowing with what arises. We're really here to surf the waves as best as we can. Doesn't mean we're perfect, doesn't mean we get it right, doesn't mean we're always feeling great, not at all. Ascension is a lot about feeling like shit, at least so far. And, it's because of all the density and distortions and reversals clearing. So, it has to come up and out, literally. Just like a good cleanse, or when we have the flu, it's just clearing all the toxins, okay? That's all that ever is. Any illness, it's helping you heal yourself. It's an invitation for you to heal yourself and to come to more balance and harmony within. And the consciousness is a big part of that, to not just when we're physically ill, to just look at the body, obviously, because ultimately, as I said before, I believe mental, emotional is where that all starts. And then if you don't address that, it becomes a physical illness, because the energy blockages build up for so long that then it manifests into something physical for your body to speak to your consciousness and say, I need attention. And, and then it's like, okay, here's an opportunity for me to heal myself. And our bodies are so intelligent with what's coming online now. The healed light body, it's a healed body. It's, very long lifespan, hundreds of years. And, we can regrow our own limbs, never mind the med beds. So that's, I'm focusing on that part. So what I see is we're going through a 3-day process of a deep transformation on all levels. So take it easy. Support the purification integration with, again, loads of water, extra rest, move your body, nurture yourself, whatever is necessary, and can shift throughout the day as well. Yeah, listen to your guidance. Every moment is different. Every day, people feel different, really. Like, just literally, like, this is so much about connecting naturally with your soul, your heart, and source. Just naturally, like a child would, You don't need a manual on how to. It's how would you naturally, intuitively connect to that. The same as praying. Like, one of the best tips I can give before you go to bed, ask your higher self and team and source to help you heal, clear, manifest, whatever it is that's on your mind. Give gratitude. You can also do this before you go in meditation or whenever throughout the day, but it's very effective before you go to bed. These things are actually really easy. Like, we get a lot of help with that. When I heal myself, it's several things that I do. My own healing hands, praying literally, and, then also physically help my body and whatever else I'm guided to do. So, but ultimately we know what our body needs to do, and we're being intuitively led also to things. And now, as the whole field is so clear, synchronicities and everything aligns just in a really magical way. But the more relaxed you can be, the more it flows, and the more you cannot resist whatever is happening, and just embrace it and see what you're here to resolve still, the easier and quicker this all goes. So I already said about the total reset and the transduction records totally being reset. So it's really a clean slate, and this will happen planetary-wide as well. So as I said, as we are shifting, okay, and in one moment wake up in a new reality, it will be like waking up from a bad dream, and it's like we will remember what happened, but we'll also remember that we quantum jumped, and it will be we have a different memory of history. Okay, just like someone remembering Mandela died in prison and the other person not. Okay, but just we will have the same memories, but maybe some will remember more of what has happened actually than others. Okay, because we've been more consciously involved in making this quantum leap actually happen. So, I just feel something really massive and magical building in the field. So, clean slate, all new beginnings, and it's all going to happen. It's all happening already from the activation of our own light bodies and DNA, and that came online hugely yesterday as well. The 13th giant DNA activation and really 144 divine template, but it's the our core template that's also with the transduction sequence and our whole avatar blueprint, which we've been working on, especially over the last month, and reclaiming and reassembling and reactivating all of this. And I know it sometimes doesn't seem like, so much is happening, but just because it's not physically happening, just check in with your own consciousness of how much that has expanded over the last month alone. That's really, you need to go, again, that out there, this is just it's kind of the least real of all the realities. We really need to go within to see beyond the illusions and veils that are now totally dissolving and clearing rapidly, absolutely rapidly now. So I'm going to be in the frequency of celebration. It's already done. I'm basically, if planning for anything, I'm planning for my holiday, I'm planning for a move, so I'm going to get my clothes sorted out, pamper myself, obviously still flow here as much, as I'm guided to, but ultimately this is now party time, celebration time. That's the frequency, because ultimately this is done. Obviously we're still getting it done also, and there's something big coming online, but you get me, it's all of these things simultaneously. That's how I work. It's the same as I can address and clear up all these distortions within the field, our own bodies, but I also know ultimately it's all imagined and we're all hallucinating all this shit. And this is what is multidimensional embodiment for me. It's not one or the other. It's all of these dimensional perspectives, all unified. It's like I said, instead of multiple personality disorder, it's multidimensional personality in order. Yeah, you're all of these things, and they all merge, but they all know each other, and they're all really good friends with one another. All right. So it's just a bit of fun, and the fun is so important because that's ultimately really what unlocks heaven on earth within us. Okay, in our own lives, most of all. Okay, just to start with. And joy and lightness doesn't come easy to me. I'm going to say this very clearly. I'm usually a very serious person. I could really do with more lightening up generally. So, but that is for many reasons. All right. So, obviously, we all want to be happy. And that's really what's going to come online now because, again, all this heaviness is lifting. All of this shit is lifting, okay? It's literally dissolving at quantum rapid God speed now, all right? And I'm not talking about linear terms. I'm going to tell you how long it's going to take because it's about frequency. No more time, all right? So as it's all clear, now we can be more the joy because joy is love expressed and God is love. It really is, all right? And this is what brings heaven on earth. It unlocks it from within us. So whatever brings you joy, as much as you can bring this into your life, okay, and feed that new life that you want to live, okay? And even, I mean, I really see when I look, inner side at earth, it's like the old matrix overlays. It's like a very faint shadow in the back that's dissolving, being burned up. But I just see new earth, full iridescent plasma colors all lit up, like literally ready to come online. That was the message today. It's ready to come online. I know it doesn't look it. Many people would say I'm crazy. I don't care. That's what I'm feeling. I'm sharing it. Take what resonates. Leave the rest. I really don't care at this point. The divine plan now unfolds in all its glory. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. We also make this happen, and that's the most important thing of them all. As I keep saying, we merge and quantum leap, merge, jump, blend, synchronize, converge with that reality now, which is always available in the quantum field. In no time. It is already now available. But yes, there are certain trigger points and junctures in time when we can make that final leap. But we've pulled the trigger, people. So thank you so much. It's done. We've done an awesome job. I was thinking about getting maybe like a mini bottle of champagne. I don't think I've ever bought myself one. Paul, there you are. So good to see you and hear that you survived. Yes. I felt like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, as I always say, ultimately our higher selves and teams and source, are in charge. I bring in the frequency and the activations, but the same as healing, I'm not considering myself as healing anyone as such, as most of us know, that are in the healing business. It's more providing the space for, more to come in, things to accelerate. And obviously the main thing about these, us doing this as a group, these activations, is that because I do this anyway, and we all do this anyway, separately. But when we focus with that intent together, we create this. Like you can look it up. Is it called the Maharaji Effect? When it's like, I think that was though through transcendental meditation, they did, some tests about, obviously the effect meditation can have, mass meditations. And when you have highly coded beings that are really like now aligned with source, our frequency is overpowering, again, so much of the lower frequencies, okay? That's how this really works. And it's like, we really have made the magic happen and continue to make it happen. Like we anchored so much frequency yesterday, and I'm not saying this is just through these activations, but again, it's collective. They're coming in, and we are holding the container, we're amplifying them, we're directing them, and obviously our own journey is being accelerated because each time a lot clears and activates. So it's the fast track when we do together, and we really consciously are honing our skills as co-creators. Also, everybody has a different experience. That's why I like to do them remotely, because everybody has a different experience, and I also can go deeper myself, where here I need to think about talking and looking into a camera and so forth. So it's different, but I feel we can go deeper that way. And also it hones our telepathic communication, and we all again have our own experiences that come in instead of someone telling you what you are seeing. So that was very big. It's still unfolding, as I say. I really feel it's a final activation, a big avalanche coming in, tsunami of white light causing like a full the full reset. Now, how exactly, again, I don't even want to say it like this. It could be that way, can be many other ways. But please, let's remember, we are co-creating this. We already have set it in motion. It's now activated, anchored, locked, and sealed. And it's in progress. All right. So this is the highest timeline. We have secured it. This was the quantum leap. This is literally my mission fulfilled as such, because that's what I've been shown. I've been holding since very ancient times. So we are going back to the future. Okay. It's like a mirrored parallel timeline, but it's to where the negative alien invasion never happened as such, but we will remember what has happened. All right. So, but the damage didn't happen. So it's a different history, but we remember, and we will have the lessons from this one, and we also have some upgrades. So that's why it's not really the original blueprint we go back to. It's an original blueprint or divine blueprint, our core, our source codes, but with some upgrades, like an expansion of consciousness, which is what all of this is ultimately about. And as I said before as well, this is the ultimate step. The last step is we really need to understand the divine perfection of all that has played out in our personal lives at a collective stage, to now bring this, because this experiment is now concluded. This is the conclusion of the experiment. This is it. You can hang on to unforgiveness and blame and, victimizer stories and good versus evil if you like, but that's basically what keeps you in the old matrix, false, inverted, polarized realities. If you want to transcend that, you will understand that everything has been a co-creation from the one consciousness in your personal life as well as collective, and everything had to be exactly as it planned out. It could have been no other way for us to learn the lessons that we came here for, and we're only done when we're done, which is now. As a collective one consciousness. And as I see this, it's like literally copying over. Like it's the one consciousness, and we will all just remember our true history again. And that's all connected to the crystalline grid network activation and the crystalline heart activation. This is what brings everything online. The galactivations now, bringing online our galactic self, multidimensional self, bringing online disclosure, who we are, where we came from, true history. It's all interconnected. That's the thing. It's all interconnected, and it's all waiting for that one moment in time. Here, any moment now. I can feel it in the field. Can you feel it? Who feels it? Yes, celebration. Literally, I'm going to get myself a mini bottle of champagne, just because that's how we co-create. It's the same as, if you want to go on holiday, maybe you need a new case for it. Just get yourself the case already, or look at where you want to go on holiday. You know what I mean? That's how you activate these timelines. What do you want to do? And I mean, we're actually looking at intergalactic holidays maybe, very, very soon. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I can feel how the memory of this whole reality of everything that has come before is literally dissolving. That's what's happening. Let's see how quickly that happens and how. But this will be actually quite fun, I see. This is not going to go as catastrophic as everybody thinks, or many, I think. Yeah, Paul, I also left you earlier on a tip of like a 3-day water fast. It once saved me from an appendix operation. And to anyone who's going through some pain right now, again, do what your body tells you. Just try and relax into it, any kind of pain, mental, emotional, physical, okay? And just be present with it. We're purging that. Just know it's here to leave. Because if you feed fear to, because I know from, going through this for years, and you have a programming that, as we know, you need to go to the doctor or, take a tablet or an injection to fix yourself. So ultimately, we just need to be present and listen to our body and our consciousness, what it needs. Of course, there are support, and things we might want to do. or get or take, but ultimately, you know, our bodies have a natural ability to heal themselves, and these are quantum healing activations coming in from source, healing all. That's why, but as we are healing, the distortions and the disease and illness or whatever comes up, the toxins need to clear, all right, and it's like a purge. Yeah, and miracle healings, again, you know, something can very quickly now, we can work through what maybe has taken before weeks or months, hours, days, and everything gets quicker. So this is a huge quickening. Look up again Time Acceleration from Tom Kenyon on YouTube, that explains it as well, the time acceleration, and that's what I'm seeing. It all ends up in one now moment, all timelines, all dimensions, all realities, the same as our multidimensional selves, all merging, all converging, all blending into one, and time-wise into one now moment, where it will be an organic reality experience beyond the time and dimensional, you know, way we perceive things right now. And think the metaverse in an organic way, all right? And it's literally waking up and remembering that reality where we should be in the future, hundreds of years ahead, technologically speaking and consciousness speaking, okay? Because we've been stuck in time, literally. We've been held back, okay? So there's a huge, it's like a big elastic, yeah? And then it releases and it's like, pew, pew. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, intergalactic travel, let's do it. And our light bodies, again, that's what's, you know, coming online with these macabre activations and realignments. Ultimately, you're traveling in an orb body, okay? So I always see myself in a bubble, in a plasma bubble of light. So it's an orb body. You know how people see orbs, and sometimes you can see beings also in these orbs? That's basically how we'll travel. That's us. You know, like the galactics, they are higher identities. That's why, as we merge and activate the higher DNA strands in our multidimensional selves, galactic contact comes online. That's why the power is within us, within activating this within us. Just going to have a look here. Okay, I'll look at some of the comments later. Unless anyone has a question, I'm going to wrap it up, because otherwise people might not have the focus either for too long. I think I covered everything I wanted to. I probably didn't. I left bits and pieces in earlier posts. Also, sometimes with my posts, check out the comment sections. I leave extra information there, because sometimes it's just, especially now, right now, there's so much happening. It's like really hard to put it all together in a concise way, for me anyway. I usually babble on, as we know. So, all right, now the experiment is complete. I'm getting ready for the party, I'm getting ready for holidays, I'm getting ready for a big soul reunion and catching up with all of you lovely people in the flesh. And I'm not hallucinating, although I am, but I'm now creating a whole other hallucination that I'm actually going to enjoy. How about that one? Who wants to do it with me? So, obviously, it's not about forcing anything, okay? It's in alignment with the divine will. As I say, I'm not just making this stuff up I talk about. And sometimes people ask, how do you know? It's cognizance, clear cognizance. Jesus, I can't even use the word. You know, clear cognizance, clear sentience, clear audience, clear voyance. So my main gifts are clear sentience, so that's the feeling that you feel things, and clear cognizance, where you just know things. So one moment to the next, I just know things. Things just come in like a message. And it's not some voice talking to me or anything, it just arises from within me. So it's like, it's just this, I just know. You know, you don't know how you know, you just know that you know. And it's a very powerful gift, because it can't be so much interfered with all its, shenanigans. But even that needs to be honed, because the one main thing I've had to overcome was all of the programming in the spiritual field of that gives you, that makes you doubt what you see. Because there's so many faults, entities and energies interfering in your field that in the end you believe you can't even trust your own intuition anymore. That's the most biggest fuck up of them all, quite frankly. Like, seriously, like 3D programming is one thing, but some of the distorted, convoluted, reversed spiritual beliefs out there in the community are way more dangerous, okay? And there are people who are stuck in polarity consciousness and they can't see it. And there was someone the other day, and I'm just going to say it because it needs to be said, in the name of truth. Because someone said on one of my YouTube posts the other day, oh yeah, but it's, you know, it's about, because I mentioned I was triggered by some mask situation. And the person was saying, oh yeah, and then you see the people with the mask and it's kind of, it's disappointing and so forth. And then I said, yeah, okay, but we also need to understand, you know, kind of where they're coming from, which I went a bit deeper on myself again last week on when I got frustrated with the people who are not getting it. For me then to see that I was still not getting it at a deeper level, which I kind of knew, but you know, you then go deeper within the knowing. It's like, it's how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? But ultimately, it's like, you know, it's important to feel both as well, because it's also like, you know, I am also disappointed with people, especially in the community, who should have known better, in a way, to not fall for the divide and conquer agenda and this polarized nonsense and the whole hoax of the last 2 years. But then again, I can also see that they had to play that role. It's both ends. And that's the beauty of both ends. The last tip I'm going to give you for today. That's how you can resolve a lot of remaining conflict maybe within you. Because ultimately, as part of the multidimensionality, you need to integrate and merge the polarities, so the paradoxes, okay, in the 0 point field, in neutrality. That's how you embody the tri-wave, the new unity consciousness field. So it's the polarities, but without the friction between them. Okay, they're balanced and in harmony now, because we're not getting rid of polarities. It's just a distorted polarity that's at war with one another that we're getting rid of. And how do we do this? We bring it at peace within us. So we often can do this with both ends. So if you don't know if you should be angry with someone or not, it's ultimately this way. It's like, own your anger, because on one level, you're really angry with yourself, but you might also have a reason to be angry or disappointed with another person. Ultimately, more the disappointment stuff. The anger is more, you know, where we still have to resolve a trigger, because it's like our ego getting triggered, really, and fear. But on another level, it's also okay, you know, to be annoyed with another person and tell them, and it's okay to, you know, like express that. Like, we shouldn't, you know, it's like any feeling is your part of your inner navigational guidance system. It's so important, and it will tell you when something is off. So never ever say you shouldn't be angry, you know. It's just that we go past the anger and we transcend it. Yeah, we go past it. But it's both. It's like, yes, they were an idiot, but you also get why. I hope that makes sense. And that's the both ends, okay, where you're like, you get their point, you get your point, you know, you can see the highest perspective, but you unify it in the neutrality. And that's the 0 point we are here to embody and bring in. That's the tri-wave, the polarities through divine law of the neutrality, unified in harmony and balance, okay? So you don't have to agree with the other person, but you don't have to convince them of anything else, change their perspective, or fight them, or cut them off, okay? Because that's what we need to get right now. That's unity consciousness, okay? We need to get over the divide and conquer nonsense, especially in the spiritual community. There's a big divide, and that's, I think, what's going to come next. That's a big soul reunion. The Essenes Divide, okay? It's a divide within the spiritual community of different ideologies, and it is just ultimately a timeline bleed through, but we came here now to resolve this. We have to come together, really, and come together and find the pieces we agree on, and maybe find a way on how we can harmonize the other parts instead of you know, thinking, because there's this big paranoia going on one side of the spiritual community, that the other part is causing a lot of problems within the field by being not aware of, you know, the true history of humanity, the problems with the entities and negative alien agendas and so forth. And that is very true. But, you know, none of the sides has got it all right, let's put it that way. Because there's a lot of reversals also happening on the other. Because if we see it from that polarized perspective and, you know, think the other ones don't have it figured out, that's spiritual ego, and that's a big problem. And that really needs to be transcended next. Because we need to come back together. We need to heal the split within the spiritual leadership that goes back to also the Lyran royal houses and many other timelines. And I really see that's something that needs to heal now, because that's what's a big part of how the polarity still plays out down here. Because the way I see it, okay, the spiritual leadership, if you want to talk about it this way, I don't think as such that humanity needs a spiritual leadership, okay? It does, but it doesn't. But what it really is that the ones that carry certain templates and blueprints for the planetary template, okay, that have certain keys and codes for ascension, we carry a lot of responsibility and accountability by embodying Christ consciousness, okay, and getting this right. As we get it right, it copies over to the collective consciousness, because we are the broadcasters here. So it's not about them, it's about us. If we get this right, the collective field adjusts and heals. This is why this is about what we are doing. So we are more conscious of it, because we're carrying certain blueprints here, okay, and holding certain templates in the field. So we have a greater responsibility. And that's why it's so important for the split, because ultimately that's what it comes back to, what I was shown, okay? If you think of the negative alien invasion, that was only possible to happen and even came up in our reality and was created because there was already a split of ideologies within the Lion royal houses. That's why we need to heal that, to heal it all. That's the final thing. Now, that can be done within us, okay? I leave that with you. I might go into this another time later, because not everybody will understand this here. Some people will understand it. And I think we can see it also as, you know, that's just another representation really of what we're seeing out in the field, the masks against the non-masks, you know, or for the vaccine against the vaccines, all these stupid polarities, you know, and ultimately both sides want the same thing. Okay, and each side thinks the other side is the reason why we're in this trouble. And that's the insanity, that's the psychosis of it all, because it's not true. One side might be causing more problems than the other though, okay? So we need to see it like it's both, but it's really high time we now wake up. We transcend the last polarizations, we transcend these splits within the community, which basically comes back in ourselves, you know. And if you think of all also like the, you know, the stories from like Egyptian times or so forth, it's always a split in the families, isn't it? Because they're like warring over power and inheritance and, you know, all that stupid nonsense. So yeah, no, I don't do planetary birthplace readings. Go within. It's all within. All right, I don't do that stuff. I'm not doing personal sessions at the moment either. I'm very much focused on this here and share as much as I can with everybody. Okay, the same as the activations. This is literally what I live for. I do a lot of planetary energy work and so forth. And I'm very busy on bringing the new instruction sets online, which is basically a lot of data processing. So, and then I share what I'm guided to and as much as I can with you guys. All right. So Also, if anybody wants to give a donation, it's always very much appreciated, because that's very much what I'm relying on. Also, thank you so much for the people who did give a donation for the activation, because you make it possible for me to keep on doing what I'm doing, quite frankly. So also, one last thing, with all of this coming online, I mean, you know, however long things may take, I mean, one thing is for sure, this is very quickly unraveling now. The narratives are imploding. I also feel a big shift in regards to abundance level. Let's see how far we can jump. Again, in every now moment, okay, we keep co-creating the future. It's literally every thought, every belief, every feeling you hold. Like, I'm constantly holding these timelines. Okay, you still obviously like clear through your doubts and, you know, insecurities or whatever comes up. All right, that's natural. But ultimately, you keep holding it. All right, you don't give up. And that is for your personal lifetime, timelines. It's the same as, you know, any kind of successful person you heard about. They usually, you know, had to try and try and try again. They didn't just succeed the first time. You know, this takes infinite amounts of perseverance and tenacity, which thankfully I have. It's kind of my life's purpose. So anyway, it's really, really important to remember we are co-creating this. This is what all of this is truly about, us remembering this. We co-created this together. This is not about blaming any one species or thing. Okay, it's about just taking full accountability and responsibility, giving it also, all right, but everybody takes their piece. This is yours, this is mine, this is theirs. You see? You know what I mean? So we're all in this together, yes, quite frankly, all right. And now let's get us out of this nonsense by understanding this is ultimately a holographic overlay. Look into quantum physics, all right, but this is an artificial one which is now dissolving, and beyond it is an organic creatrix field, all right? And I'm seeing this coming online. I mean, it's already online, but becoming visible any moment now. One way or another, more and more freedom, more and more abundance, more and more alignment, more and more multidimensional experiences, more and more multidimensional bleed-throughs, glitches in the matrix, system breakdowns, all of that jazz. But I can't tell you, because it's quantum constantly, it's constantly shifting. It's so little is set here, okay? The general trajectory is set here, that's why I'm saying. So this is what I'm seeing, but I can't tell you exactly when it comes online and what happens in the meantime. Yeah, and again, we all have our private individual timelines as well. So, but I mean, I see and feel a lot of awesomeness about to explode into the field, literally. So let's make it so. Every thought, every word, every belief, every feeling, every action, all of this is this. I see something massive coming online. This, you know, like a very tangible final compression breakthrough, but it's already in process. It's already, I mean, we're feeling it, I think, since yesterday, and it's clearing everything, you know, that still needs to be cleared to get us ready for that. So we are the frequency of New Earth now, and we have been fully activated. And it's only a matter of the right divine moment in time, which is divine frequency alignment, all right? And it's already done. Feel it, be that, align with that frequency. Happiness, how would you feel living your best life? Do as much, align as much in your life now with that already, okay? Prepare for what you want to experience and align all of you with that. Keep doing the good work. You have all the answers within, truly, all right? Maybe teeny tiny little bit of energetic light language. All right. Just the one thing which I really feel coming online is going to be the heart, the crystal heart. We're getting ready for a really big, like this is really what's going to blow everything open, like a supernova of the heart. All right. Because that's a love tsunami. God is love. Us remembering ourselves as God. Okay. So let's just focus on our heart for a moment. Just take a nice breath in. With the breath out, just let go of any tension, any worries, any stress. And with the next breath, just breathe into your heart center and imagine a beautiful bubble of crystalline plasma, rainbow iridescent light. Beautiful plasma light. And hold it there for a moment and let it build up. And with the next breath out, you blow this out into your whole energy field. And as this happens, you clear out any lower frequencies, energies, entities, and vibrations, all and anything no longer in alignment with your highest truth, expression, and self, across all time and space. Una yana sera era shuku yana kera yena kana na sata yena saku ya yana I yana na I ine se ona ke na yena kara suku shuku yana ke yana te na sake ya ke na sakarata o yana na ye inunu Nanana yukura shana yena kera na sukuna tana yena kea kekena sukura tarasa. Oyana kana ya ea. Oyana na ya na na sa ya ne ya kea tu ayana ea ea ea. Ena uaini na ya na se. Kua ya na. E ona na e. Una ena na ya na. Eona sana te akea sena te kukua oyanai atura sha kayane eoma enene nana nasua enanei anatu anainana Enane tunanaye enatuna shenaye kirana teuna Ena kera sakara soku eana ea umama te I muna yana naye katu na esikera shaku kukutara sake ena kena sakara kuyana kena sa ena kena ea kukuratara sanata kena yena sakara shukunata kuyana Namaste. Let us remember the God spark within each other, truly coming online now with our permanency datums, our thymus, and everything else, only realities. That's what I'm seeing. We're here. It's happening. Just got to relax, let it happen through us. Emanate this, broadcast this out, be the change, be the Christ resurrected. That's what we came here for. And then that goes out to all, okay? We've taken over the broadcast. It's the rest is dissolving now. With as much ease and grace as we could come up with, and we keep co-creating that. So thank you very much. I hope this was helpful, as always. Thank you so much for your presence. For the ones with the activation, as I said, it's still very much active. Tune into the field. I mean, it is the field. It's online now, but there's still a lot happening. And the more consciously we connect with everything that's unfolding, of course, the more we receive it. So enjoy, tune in, expand, keep rising, keep shining, be your true you, keep speaking your truth, be your authentic self. That's your superpower, all right? And become unfuckable with. That's another superpower. And laugh at it all. Like, humor is a very, very important tool in our toolbox, all right? Really. I need to transcend it. That's how we transcend the remaining illusions now, okay? And veils. False projections. Truly. All right? So thank you for doing your work. Thank you for listening. And so much love. Many blessings to you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night. Good day. Happy now, always.